Meanwhile, the Department of Administration told lawmakers today that GovGuam had a $59 million deficit last fiscal year. This made Vice Speaker B.J. Cruz even more apprehensive about the current year finances and next fiscal year's budget. Here's more.
During an oversight hearing at the legislature, DOA Director Christine Boleto admitted to lawmakers that it appears as if GovGuam will be recording a $59 million deficit for last fiscal year.
How much of a deficit have you seen in your review of the audit?
The same.
60 or 25?
59.
The Vice Speaker asked DOA Director Christine Boleto if she believed that the deficit was due to not collecting as much money as they anticipated or due to overspending.
There's several issues, and one of them is for example, the Guam solid waste. We're paying on the bonds and we don't have, I guess it's an unfunded expenditure. There is also some expenditures for DOE.
The Vice Speaker asked that they make sure their agencies bring realistic requests to the legislature when budget hearings begin for this coming fiscal year.
We now realize that we've had 2 fiscal years with $60 million in deficits. We're going to have to take off, straight off the top, the 2%. Some of our revenue projections may be overstated. We should become more realistic.
Cruz called for today's oversight hearing to get an accurate picture of GovGuam's finances after April's Consolidated Revenue and Expenditures report showed a collection of $9.3 million from GMH that Cruz believed was a paper entry rather than actual cash. Today, Boleto told the Vice Speaker that money was recorded because they believed it would be collected soon. In fact, today Boleto says that money was collected on June 17th, and it was even slightly more than they expected, or about $10.8 million. However, Cruz found out that this money was only collected after DOA released about the same amount of cash to GMH.
Did you guys transfer any money to them or do a cross-exchange of cash?
Well, we did, yes, we do normally release to them on a Friday.
And how much did you release to them last Friday?
I think it was close to 11 million.
Cruz believes DOA paid GMH so that GMH could then pay them.
After last Monday, you transferred 11 to $13 million to them, coincidentally enough to pay yourself back, correct?
Yes.
Despite having at least a $10 million shortfall in collections year to date, the administration is confident that GovGuam is still on track to meet and even slightly exceed its forecasted revenues for this fiscal year.
Our forecasts for the remaining months are based upon 5-year historicals, and our projections do indicate that we will meet the adopted revenues based upon historical collections for the rest of the forecast. So you asked for the basis for it is a forecast, and there is some methodology that is being utilized to come up with the forecast.
Cruz remains skeptical that GovGuam will meet forecasted revenues for this fiscal year. During the hearing, he pointed out that the months of June through August are historically bad months for revenues. Nevertheless, Carlson says the administration stands by its forecasted revenue projections.